Now, Julian Alvarez is by far and away the hot topic this game week, but am I bringing him into my team? Find out in this video. It's my Game Week 6 team selection. Right, we're going to start the team selection then by talking about my goalkeeper and defenders. I've got Onana. I'm going to start with Estupiñán, Chilwell, Gusto, and I've got Gabriel, who pretty much saved my game week in Game Week 5 by keeping a clean sheet against Everton. He's on my bench. I'm not too sure about Gabriel going forward. You know, he's rotated a lot at the start of the season, obviously playing for Arsenal now, but I think that's only due to the fact they've got so many injuries. Tottenham up next, Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will still be a tough game for Arsenal, and then Man City. I think now's the time to get rid of him. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. Estupiñán, I think, is a fantastic option against Bournemouth. Lots going around about whether Chilwell will play or whether he won't. Obviously, Colwill played left back against Bournemouth, and then Chilwell came on towards the end of the game. To be honest, when Chilwell came on, he looked absolutely fantastic, and you got to think he's going to play. You know, he's one of Chelsea's best players, and I can't believe for the life of me that Pochettino is going to keep him out of the team. Gusto, I'm really liking him in my team at the moment. Reece James still appears to be injured. Reckon there'll be a couple more weeks that he's going to be out for. Obviously, Gusto has a short shelf life, but I think for 4.1 million, you can't ask for much more. As for a replacement for Gabriel, I really like the Newcastle defence. They conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League last season. They were the second best team for expected goals conceded, and they've got an unbelievable fixture run coming up. You could, well, certainly with the money I've got in the bank, I could go for either Botman or Fabian Schär. I think I'm just going to favour going for Botman. 4.5 million, fantastic value for a player that's kept, well, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Obviously got one at the weekend and then kept one in the Champions League against AC Milan. I expect them to do the same in Game Week 6. I'm really looking forward to making that transfer. On to the midfield then, and got to be honest, it's a bit boring, but I don't think I'm going to make any changes to it. Saka, Rashford, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes and Maddison. Yes, the Man United players are not ideal, and if I had a wildcard this week, in fact, I've already made a wildcard video, so you can check that out if you're looking for a wildcard draft. If I was on a wildcard, I probably wouldn't pick Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, but they're sitting in my team at the moment. They've got really good underlying numbers, and obviously Burnley is a fantastic fixture, so I just can't justify selling them. Saka, really good option, same with Mbeumo, and then Maddison, yes, he's got a couple of difficult games coming up, but the way he's so crucial to that Spurs attack, I think he can score points against any team. I don't see myself making any changes to this midfield, so let's move on to the forwards. Okay, Haaland and Watkins up front then. Now, Watkins has a couple of tough fixtures coming up. Obviously, Haaland, I don't really need to talk about him. He's pretty much the best captain game week on game week, and he's my captain again. Forest at home, a fantastic fixture. You don't need to say any more about him. However, Ollie Watkins, he's not scored a goal yet this season, and he plays Chelsea and Brighton in the next 2 game weeks. So he could make way for a few options. The first of those options, of course, is the hot topic himself, Julian Alvarez. Now, he started all 5 games in the Premier League for Man City so far, and the lowest minutes he's played in a game is 89. He's played 4 lots of 90 minutes, got subbed off early in Game Week 4, I believe, but he still managed 89 minutes. He's linking up absolutely fantastically with Erling Haaland. He's managed 5 assists so far this season from only 1 expected assist. That should say 5 starts, by the way. Only 1 expected assist. That just shows how, you know, how much a player's stats can grow by partnering up with Erling Haaland, basically. He's got Nottingham Forest up next, which is a fantastic fixture, but he could get benched. You know, he's had a long travel during the international break. I believe he played in Bolivia at a high altitude. Obviously, that's going to be taxing on just him as a human being, basically, and I can't believe he started on Saturday after all of that. And he played in the Champions League midweek as well, so you really do have to ask questions. Is he going to start against Nottingham Forest at home on Saturday? I mean, if there was ever a fixture to rotate him in where Man City could probably win the game without going for Alvarez, it's that one. And ultimately, when you compare him to Ollie Watkins, first of all, Ollie Watkins after Game Week 7, by the way, has an absolutely fantastic fixture run. But the underlying numbers, they're not, you know, too dissimilar between Alvarez and Watkins. 0.8 expected returns per 90 for Watkins, 0.6 for Alvarez. And yeah, I know he hasn't scored many goals, Ollie Watkins, but he's getting assists similar rate to what Alvarez is. And Chelsea, Brighton, yes, on paper they might be stronger opposition than what Man City have, but You know, Chelsea not looking the best team, and Brighton are yet to keep a clean sheet, so he could well do well in those games. So for me personally in my team, I'm not sure Alvarez is worth it. One player, however, who could be worth it is Carlton Morris of Luton. I really like him, particularly with double game week 7 in mind. Now, for game week 6, touch and go as to whether I bring him in. Wolves at home is a fantastic fixture for him, and I've got to say, he's putting up decent numbers, looks reasonably dangerous against any opposition that he plays, really. Obviously, only made the 4 starts because he had the blank in game week 2, I believe it was. So, yeah, he's only got 4 games of data compared to other players that have got 5. But yeah, with that double in 7, Everton away, Burnley at home, his style of play as well, he's a danger to any defence. You know, his size and ability in the air, he's a problem for any centre-back. Now, again, you could go for him in game week 6. Now, I've put him in, basically. If you've got someone like João Pedro, I think it's an easy swap. You know, he's got Wolves at home, really good fixture, then Everton and Burnley. Then I think a lot of the game are probably going to wildcard in game week 8, and you can just take him out. You know, you get 3 fixtures in 2 game weeks, and 3 really decent fixtures too. So, yeah, I think he's a really good option. I probably won't be going for him this week and just waiting for game week 7. All right then, and here's my team as a finished product. I'm actually starting Botman over Gusto purely because I think Villa could well beat Chelsea. If you look at the Premier League table starting from 2023 onwards, Villa are nearly top, and Chelsea, well, they're nearly at the bottom. And that would suggest to me that across at least this calendar year, Villa have been by far and away the better team than Chelsea, and I really do think they can win that fixture. So whilst I back Chilwell to do okay, you know, if he does start at left back or left wing, he's going to be really advanced, getting forward and creating some chances for Chelsea. So I don't necessarily back them to keep a clean sheet, but if he starts, I'd always back Chilwell to get amongst the attacking returns. Onana, Burnley as the fixture, I think he can keep a clean sheet in that one. And then, yeah, just starting Botman over Gusto. I just like spreading the risk in terms of clean sheets, really. And I think with Sheffield United, Newcastle have got a good chance. I'm not going to go for Alvarez or Morris this week. I'm going to hold the faith in Ollie Watkins and consider a transfer next week. This team is predicted by Draft Hound to get 69.8 points and has 0.5 million in the bank. Let me know in the comments what you think of my team selection and if there are any other transfers you consider making. All right, and that's the end of the video. That's my team as it stands for game week 6. You know, if anything changes across the European football games, then I'll update on my deadline stream on Saturday morning. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like rating and subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be around there. And I'll catch you in my next video.